You see, there's like this weird nakedness in trying, in vulnerability in trying to stick our neck out in the Western world that is full of tall poppy syndrome and pulling others down, just in being uncool to try. Like since high school, it's been like uncool to try at stuff, right? Because you wouldn't want to try hard and then fail. Long story short, that echoes out into the real world. Once you leave school, once you try different endeavors, you fall into this weird flux of not wanting to do anything because you're scared of trying. You see, women want a man that's vulnerable. It's a bit of a fucking load of shit. Not like crying, oh, it's my feelings, this is that. Vulnerability is the ability to be able to put yourself out there, take the risk on as much as possible without it blowing up in your face and then affecting you. Because you know what? There's two schools of thought here. You don't try, you fail. You try, you fail, or you succeed. At some point, you're going to succeed if you just keep buying enough raffle tickets or enough lotto tickets. That is not financial advice. Stop playing the lotto. There's no fucking point. But we've been lulled into this idea that it's cringe, it's gay, it's shit, or there's really this ickiness that we portray when we give our deeper self to our endeavors. There's this feeling that what if I'm not good enough? What if they find out? What if Jimmy finds out and then laughs at me? Who gives a fuck? Like, I think as you start to get older, and this is probably why it's good advice for people in their young 20s, as you start to get older, you start to mellow away from what other people think. But when you're younger, the best advice that I could give to young adults is to get rid of the fear of embarrassment. Because once you get through that, there's nothing stopping you from being able to do whatever you want. Because it's the vulnerability of taking the risk on, of being these things. How do you reckon these people that have started from nothing, that have gotten to something, went there? I watch a lot of Chris Williamson. Do you think that he constantly cared about what others want? No, he took the vulnerability upon himself to stick his neck out, despite the bloke was a club promoter and then went to, is actually a perfect example of this, a club promoter, which is that whole highly shallow, highly chauvinistic field, and went to academia, whatever the fuck he wants to call himself, but he's taken the leap from two fields that would clash. This one would think that this is gay, and this would think that these guys are losers. Like, he's now transcended that gap, and in there was the vulnerability. Because people at the start on this field would have thought that he was one of those dickheads, and these guys were like, what the fuck does he think he's trying to do? It's that vulnerability that allows you to transcend, that allows you to put your clothes back on in coming back in line with the nakedness of trying. It does. It feels icky. In a bit of story time here, it always feels a bit hard to give yourself to something. Because if you can continue to like half-ass shit or just do enough or get away with the bare minimum, well then you're okay if you fail or it's not good enough or you get criticism. But if you can give yourself fully, it's icky. It feels shit. When this channel and stuff goes out to friends and they see that I'm talking about stuff that this is not really me in the real world, I don't really get this deep or philosophical. I read a lot of philosophy or self-help books in my own private time, but I don't spill that into like the guy that likes sports and drinking and all that kind of shit, because that's who I am in the public field. This is who I am to myself, and it's in this line. I need to fucking use a whiteboard in the car. It's in that line that vulnerability exists. That's the nakedness, that leap between one to the other, the cavity in between the two is where masculine vulnerability lies, that needs to be capitalized on. If we can get comfortable with being naked, which is pretty fucking hard unless you shred it out of your fucking mind, we can get comfortable with being naked within ourselves and exhibiting ourselves to the wider world, the real us, the authentic us, you live such a better life, a happier life, a positive life, a successful life. If this transcends, if these videos ever get to some sort of audience, they're seeing the real me. And that fucking sucks whilst it's not successful, but it needs to go through this period of transition to hit this period, be successful, and then you're no longer naked, and then people are asking you, how did you do it, or why did you do it, or you got lucky, or all that. They don't see the inner turmoil of getting all this stuff out. So, get comfortable with being naked. Give your mind a six pack. Catch you tomorrow unless I'm dead.